Welcome to the High Performance Man podcast. I am your host, John Fayocavitz. On this show, I interview successful men who have built impressive careers in businesses, founders, CEOs, senior leaders, and professionals who have operated at a high level for years. We talk about what actually made them successful. The goal is simple: to learn directly from the men who have done it so we can apply those insights into our own careers, businesses, and lives and continue raising our own standard of performance. The show is sponsored by the Prime Performance Method. The Prime Performance Method is designed specifically for high performing men who have achieved success in their careers but feel like their body and energy have taken a hit along the way. We help busy professional men regain strength, regain energy, and feel younger within weeks without long workouts, extreme dieting, and disrupting their demanding schedule. So if you're a high performing man who wants to feel as strong and energized as you are successful, message me, John Fayocavitz, on LinkedIn. On today's show, we have Bob Bazemore, who is the owner of J. Robert Bazemore, where he is a designer and consultant specializing in furniture, interiors, branded environments, and product development. Bob, thank you so much for joining the show. We're so excited to have you.
John, thank you for having me. It's quite a pleasure.
Thank you. Okay. My first question, Bob, is this. What's the most important lesson that you've learned so far that's helped you become successful in your business?
John, I think it's being flexible to all of the different scenarios that life can really throw at you. It's not really just about what is in business and focusing on business, but it's the adversities of life, being able to respond to clients' needs, being able to listen carefully to what they're telling you, because a lot of times what they're really telling you is not the real problem.
That's
And my business, I'm constantly searching for solutions for clients.
right. Okay. So you're trying to dig deeper and trying to find that root cause or root thing that you're looking for.
Right. And I taught for 8 years at Savannah College of Art and Design. I taught design. And one of the key principles I used to tell my students was pay attention to all the ologies in class. I said, if you've got psychology, sociology, technology, any of these things, those are really kind of the key drivers in what business leaders are looking at today. It's the psychology of doing business. It's the sociology of how people interact together, and the changing landscape. I mean, you think about just the way you and I are meeting right now. 5 years ago with COVID, that said, oh, I used to get on an airplane all the time. I used to get on a jet, travel to clients, meet them face to face. I still love face to face meetings because I can read body language. I can read and understand where you're working and what you're wearing and your body posture. And so those are real key drivers for me.
That's awesome. How long have you had your business then? When did you first start it?
Oh my gosh. I probably on and off, because I've worked in different arenas and different areas, but I started in architecture and design in 1986. And I worked in all the big architectural firms in Charlotte, was director of interiors at several of those, director of design at several of those. And, you would always have clients that had projects outside of the scope of what you're working on. So I kind of dabbled in and out of that, but I would say consistently my own company for 25 years.
Okay.
So,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Now, are you working with smaller businesses or you get some big corporate business?
It really kind of varies. I do a lot of everything. I've done 500,000 square foot manufacturing facilities, warehouses, um, and small dental offices. 5,000 square foot spaces, showrooms. I do some residential stuff. I don't really like doing the residential side of it, but I
Right.
will occasionally do it for a friend,
Right.
or some kind of special client.
Is your business marketing type of, is it word of mouth basically, or do you have a marketing system
It
that you use?
it is all word of mouth, and I do a lot of LinkedIn stuff. I try to post business stuff on LinkedIn. I try to post my design work on LinkedIn. I found it to be a really good platform. I also use Instagram, and it's mainly just posting and putting stuff out into into the digital world.
Right.
And a lot of it is reputation and the stuff I've done over the years. So I've kind of worked on building that brand and building that reputation, and I have clients come seek me out now.
From all over the United States.
World, really.
Really? That's
I've done
awesome.
projects, and well, I did about 11 years of work in China, working for a large manufacturer we were basically designing furniture to be sold in Walmart, the flat pack market. We were doing close to $300 million a year in retail in Walmart. I had probably over 600 products that have been launched into Walmart, either
Wow.
in the store or on their marketplace. So, and a lot of it's still out there. I mean, I see a lot of it, and I just kind of laugh, and I'm like, yeah, I know where that comes from. And I live
Yeah.
in Savannah, and every time I see cargo ships coming into the ports, I'm always kind of fascinated. And then I'm thinking to myself, hey, is some of my product on that? Or if I see a Walmart truck driving down the highway, I'm like, what if some of my product's on that? So it's
Uh,
kind of interesting. Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Cool. My next question, Bob, is this. What do you think hinders a lot of men today from reaching their full potential?
Oh my gosh. I think there are a lot of societal pressures on men to
Yep.
and again, my generation, I'm 63. I was born in 1963. So I feel like I'm in that kind of golden era of we were one of the last generations to not have the internet in our face. We were the last generation to be able to told to go outside and play. And if there was a snake that we encountered in the woods, we didn't immediately Google it or try to figure out a YouTube on it. We knew how to react to it. And I say we hung out with our tribe, but there were
Yep.
probably I lived in a fantastic time. I lived in a fantastic neighborhood and kind of grew up understanding the rules of society and the rules of our tribe, as you will, that we were running. So I think what hinders men today is that there's not a real good support group for men to talk and kind of hash their problems out. And men carry a lot of burden internally.
Right.
Our bodies start failing around 30 years old. From the time you're 30 years old until where I am right now at 63, your testosterone levels start to drop. And we don't understand all the mechanics of our bodies. And I have a 30, he's about to be 36-year old now, son who played college football at a real high level. And he is a strength and conditioning coach up in Charleston, South Carolina. And he and I talk about this all the time. We talk about, especially with me, because I surf and I play golf, and I want to stay in shape. And part of staying in shape and the core strengths that I have, he's built kind of a workout program for me to help me with lifting and strength and conditioning to not let my body fail as much as it probably would if I didn't take care of myself. My
Right.
my my dad grew up in a generation where he used his body to make money. He worked in a very physical environment. He worked at International Paper in Georgetown, South Carolina. He worked 10, 12-hour days. He was steel toe boots, hard hat, long sleeve shirt, long pants, in a very nasty, sweaty, dirty environment. And I don't have that. I sat in an office in air conditioning and heating for 10, 12 hours a day, and it does different things to your body. And I think that
Right.
we've gotten away from this physical labor, and so our bodies break down faster.
Yep.
And there's
Yeah.
that rapid decline, especially in corporate America, where you're traveling and you're on airplane and you're eating meals out. You're not eating healthy. You're not counting your calories. You're not watching what you're doing. And if you look now at the Bezos of the world, the Elon Musk, the Zuckerbergs, they're taking health very seriously. And there's a whole shift in that
That's
dynamic whenever you hit this age. Wait a minute, I want. And I joke around with my daughter who's 18. I'm like, listen, I'm going to 120. That's my target number. So just hang around for a little bit.
that's it. Good.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the biggest reasons why I've started this podcast is, as you've seen in my introduction, that's what I do.
Yeah.
Um, but I've shifted again. We'll get more of this after the podcast, and I'll talk to you a little bit more. But my thought and shift since I've gone through it, I'm 66.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've had to change a lot of things myself to know what worked for me, and it's so different than it was when we were 20s and 30s. Okay,
Oh, it is. Absolutely.
so that's awesome, and I'll talk to you about what I'm really specifically doing right now. Um, my next question, Bob, for most men on the road to business or professional success, other areas of their life get sacrificed. What's been one of the areas of your life that has suffered, if there has been? But where would you like to be successful now, too?
Well, I think that's the kind of the elephant in the room. You look at our decline of the family and the family dynamic that we have. I've had two marriages. I've got four children, two from one marriage, two from another marriage, and I've declared to never get married again. Um, and I think a lot of that is because of the way I work. I'm very passionate about what I do. I'd like to think I'm pretty good at what I do, and it's really difficult for me to turn that off. But I've learned through relationships to be more present in the moment, to apply those same skills that I have in business, where it's paying attention to the client's needs, listening to the dynamic of the client, understanding where they are in their space, to the relationships that I'm in now,
Okay.
with not only just my children, having great relationships with my children, paying attention to them, paying attention to kind of what their needs are, listening to them, but also the relationships that I have outside of that. I joke around. I play golf with a group of guys, and the one particular guy, he's my golf partner. We joke around. I call him my golf wife. His wife even jokes around and calls me his golf wife, golf partner. And we do a lot of things together. We've recently, we last weekend went to two concerts together. 2 weekends ago, we went to another concert together. We're
Well,
constantly
that's
doing things
great.
together. So there's that. I think there's a bond that a lot of men our age don't have with other people, and so we get siloed.
Mhm.
And my circle of friends is really tight. I talk about this a lot with my buddies. I have a surf community that I hang out with out at the beach. I've got a golf community I hang out with out at the beach. I've got a church community that I hang out with when I sing in the choir. So there's a
Yes.
dynamic that, me trying to stay focused and pay attention to my needs.
That is, man, you sound like a busy person, man.
Well, I like to stay busy because if I'm not, I'm bored.
Where do you work, man? When do you work? You got
Well,
surfing, you got golfing, you got church.
well, here's the real interesting thing on that. I'll have clients sometimes, they'll call me and go, "Are you in the ocean?" I'm like, "Well, I'm kind of getting ready to get in the ocean." They're like, "Man, I wish I had your life." And I'm like, "Well, you can, because you have to have this balance. You have to have this dynamic balance in your life." And
Right.
listen, I was working last night at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. It's not that I don't work. It's just I'm not in your traditional corporate America. I'm not sitting at my desk at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm not clocking out at 5 in the
At five
afternoon.
o'clock. Right.
And I think that, and especially in the creative field, I've always said this, and I heard one of these record producers talk about it one time. He was talking about Nashville, and they were doing a writing session. He said these writers think you go sit in a room somewhere, and from 8 to 5 you have to be creative. That's not when creativity strikes. Creativity strikes me when I'm out sitting in the ocean, staring at the horizon.
Right.
And the real trick is maintaining that idea until I can get to a place where I can regenerate that idea.
And you just took, I think you answered the next question. My next question, boy, how coincidental this is. Where do you find yourself at peace?
In the ocean.
Yep.
In the ocean, absolutely in the ocean. There's a solitude, and people talk about this all the time, and sometimes it sounds a little corny, but the ocean is one of those regenerative places for me. I'm on the sand. I'm touching the earth. I'm grounding my elements in my body into the earth. The ocean itself has all of these natural salts and healing chemicals in it that my body is absorbing. I'm getting probably more than my fair share of vitamin D. I think I've gone through
Oh God, yes.
the third or fourth peeling of my face this season, and my buddies joke around. It's like, man, you're getting for free what a lot of people pay for.
Yeah.
And my daughter is on me all the time about, you need sunscreen, you need sunscreen. I'm like, no, I don't. Your body doesn't need sunscreen. You need to build up a natural tolerance to it. That's the way your body reacts. And I'm real naturopath when it comes to a lot of this stuff.
That's
I,
awesome.
I even read a couple of years ago about somebody had gone out and measured the number of ions that were produced whenever a wave is crashing, and your body's absorbing those ions, those positive ions, and that gives you that positive energy. So I always think when I'm riding this wave and this wave is crashing behind me, I've got all this energy that is not just physical energy, but unseen chemical energy that I'm absorbing while I'm doing that. And people talk about this endorphin and this high you get, and
Yep.
it lasts for 3 to 5 seconds, but it's something that once you get off that wave, you want to paddle right back out and repeat it.
Right.
And surfing is a lot. I use it as a metaphor for life, because you're sitting, you're staring at the horizon, you're waiting for the next set to come. You're trying to remember from a muscle memory everything that you've done. You've got to flip the board around, you've got to paddle, you've got to stand up, you've got to balance, you've got to ride this wave, you've got to understand when to get off of the wave. And that's a lot of life. I mean, a lot of
Yeah.
what you're doing in life is just repeating the same thing over and over again. And
Right.
a lot of people call it a grind, and I think it's a grind if you don't enjoy it.
Wow. That's all. I mean, you got one of the biggest grounding. What they say now is what you just said.
Yeah.
When you get up in the morning, first thing you should be doing is getting your face in the sunshine and have your shoes off and be what they call grounding.
Yeah, that's
And you
it.
got the biggest grounding one part there is.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
you're
you're
walking
right.
on the sand. You got everything together. You said the salt water. I mean, all of those things, because that's part of what we need.
Yeah. Yeah. We were not designed, we're not creatures that were designed to be indoors. We were not
No,
creatures that were designed to sit in a chair for 8 hours a day. I
right.
mean, I worked for one of the largest furniture manufacturers in the world, Steelcase, and you talk about people who knew dynamics of the body and how to sit. And you look at the workplace now, we've got sit, stand, desk. I worked with Details, which is one of the spinoff companies of Steelcase, and we were developing this thing called a work walk station, which was basically a treadmill and a desk.
Yeah, now you see
So
them advertised
now you
everywhere.
see them everywhere. Yeah, they're everywhere. We were doing that 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
I mean, and the same thing with a computer screen. You weren't meant to stare at a computer screen.
No, and with all the
And we do.
science that's coming back about how bad looking at your phone is and your
Yeah.
screen.
All the blue light coming off your phone,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of plugged into all that stuff. So
That's good. Now, my next question, and I'm curious because I see a lot of people have different things. Do you have a morning routine or a routine that you do every day that's a non-negotiables? Like, I got to do this every day.
My non-negotiable is thinking about going to the gym. My non-negotiable is trying to get to the gym. And again, I live in a really kind of fortunate place and a fortunate time and a fortunate place in my life where I live 2.5 miles from the country club that I play golf at. So instead of me getting in my car and driving to the gym, I'll walk to the gym. I'll go
Okay.
work out for 30 or 45 minutes in the gym, and I'm doing strength and conditioning stuff. I'm doing core workout stuff, and then I'll walk back. So, my non-negotiable is eating healthy, trying to eat healthy, eating healthier, um, and trying to serve. I mean, it's that. I mean, I talk about this work-life balance a lot, and I just don't think a lot of people really understand that you have to be able to invest in yourself as much as you're investing in your bank account, your emotional bank account, your relationship bank account. All of those things have this dynamic that are pulling at men, especially,
Right.
and what we're doing, and kind of making yourself unavailable sometimes too. And
Right.
that's real important, is that unplugged time for me is if I'm in the ocean, and like I wear an Apple Watch, because I want my daughter and my sons to be able to get in touch with me if there's an emergency. But
Right.
other than that, no, the phone stays in the bag up on the beach, and I don't look at it. That's my non-negotiable. The ocean is really my calming place and my peace place.
That's,
it's that meditation place. It
yeah.
really is. Really
Well,
that
that's your form of
meditation place.
meditation.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
that's your mind just goes, and nothing about work is going to come into my mind. Okay.
Right. Well, I mean, some of the best surf sessions are the sunset surf sessions where it's, I mean, summer times are the best because the sun really doesn't set until 8:30, 8:45 around here, which I can probably surf until 9 o'clock.
Right.
I'm in the water with a lot of my buddies up until the point where we can't see each other. And
Wow.
then, I'm in the water in the morning sometimes before the sun is coming up. And those are just these times where you go, I am kind of, I say it sounds corny, but at one with the universe because I'm here in this water. There's a dynamic. The waves are happening. I've got 3 or 4 people around me. We're all having this shared experience. We're not talking to each other. We're not really interacting with each other other than knowing when it's your turn to ride the wave.
That's awesome,
Hey,
man. You're wanting me to go out and get a surfboard.
you should. You should. Just get in
But
the ocean, man. Get in the water.
yeah, well, my ocean's not close. I mean,
That's okay. Hey,
we're 2 hours, the minimum of 2 hours, and try to get there in this area
well, it's
is
funny. There's a really good surf break that's down in Jacksonville. That's a 2.5 hour drive, and my couple of my buddies and I will go down there and surf 3 or 4 times a week. We'll drive down to Jacksonville and surf.
really,
Yeah, it's a state park. I'm not going to tell you the name because I don't
yeah,
want to give my surf spot away, but
that's it.
it's $5 to go into the state park, and you drive your. I've got a truck. You drive your truck onto the beach,
Wow.
unload your boards out of the back of the truck, go surf. And there's one guy down there. He's got this 1970 Chevy van. He's got a speaker that's as big as a dang cabinet. He throws it on top of his van and he's blasting like 1970s rock and roll. This is great. It's the greatest vibe.
It is.
There's like 20 or 30 guys out in the water that are all the same age. And we're just going, yeah, this is it, man. We figured it out. This is the really cool part about life. This is it right here, right now.
Are they around your age too?
Yeah. Yeah. It's really funny because we're it's like Wednesday. It's Wednesday at 10 in the morning and we're all sitting in the water going, hey, do you guys work? Who works around here? Is anybody going to work today?
That's why you put all that time in the beginning, right?
Well, that's real interesting because my kids see me now and they go, I want your life, Dad. And I'm like, well, okay, but you got to go put the grind in. You
Yes,
can't,
it doesn't
you
just
can't,
come.
yeah, it doesn't just happen. You've really
No.
got to put the work in.
Yeah,
And, whenever I was in my 20s and I was sitting in those corporate offices and had my body hunched over a desk under, artificial light, I didn't dream of this life. I was just trying to get to the end. I mean, and
right.
I didn't know what the end was. I just thought, you know what, you retire. And now I'm going, I don't want to retire. Why would I want to stop working? This is too much fun.
Right. You're
This is
right,
way too
man.
much fun.
Yep. You
Yeah.
get up in the morning, there's no way it's a job. It's just like what you love.
Well, I rarely set an alarm clock either. I have my windows open. I get up when the sun comes up. I go to bed when the lights go down.
Yeah.
I don't want to be tied to a clock. And my buddies that I've got one buddy, he's in a couple of buddies that are corporate. One guy, he's the CEO of the Ronald McDonald House here locally. And he always complains. And I'm like, dude, you're tied. He's like, do you even know what day of the week it is? I'm like, I'm not really sure. Uh,
That's the way to
I
be,
mean,
man.
I'm not really sure what day of the week it is. I mean, your calendar reminder popped up on me yesterday. I'm like, oh God, oh man, it's already Wednesday. Oh man. And
That is
I just,
something.
I lose track of the days of the week. And it's mainly because I will work on Saturday. I will work on Sundays. I will work whenever
You
the
need to.
mood
Yep.
strikes me that I
Yep.
need to get something done.
Okay.
So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome, Bob. My last question is this. If you were to give one piece of advice to other men that are starting their journey to being successful, okay, what would that be?
Don't ever say no to an opportunity. Even if you don't know how to do that task, take that task on, figure that task out, and learn a new skill.
That is awesome.
Clear.
That is awesome. I'm sure a lot of people, since it's not in their field, they say, no, I can't do it.
I have developed websites. I never thought I'd develop a website. I had a buddy come to me,
Really?
he said, hey, can you develop a website? I'm like, let me work on it. I developed a website for him, launched it. I worked on it on and off with him for about 2 months, and we launched it last month. I've built an app. I'm really big into the peptide scene. I like peptides a lot. I think they're kind of the next key to unlocking vitamins and longevity. And so the lady that I'm in a relationship with, she's real big into the peptides too. And so we talked about this, and she said, I've got an idea. I think, the dosing, what peptide works. She said, I'd like to build an app. And I said, I can do that. And so I built a couple of versions of this app, and we've kind of done a little beta testing on it. And I want to launch it on the App Store. I'm like, why not?
That's
Why
awesome.
not? Yeah, why not?
That's
I mean,
awesome, Bob.
so
Well, you're talking a lot of things that I did, man. That's awesome. Well,
yeah,
Bob, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. I want to
well,
thank
thank
you
you
so
so
much
much.
for taking the time to be on with us. Your insights were awesome. Okay. And my audience is going to get a kick out of it. Okay.
Well, thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Look
You're
forward
so
to it.
welcome. And as a reminder, everyone listening, this show is brought to you by the Prime Performance Method, where I help high-performing men rebuild their strength, energy, and confidence without sacrificing their careers. So if you're ready to feel strong in your body as you are successful in your business, message me at John Fayocavitz on LinkedIn. Till our next episode, perform strong in all areas of your life.